Hi, Manavi, Dallin Larson here from Yokohama, Japan, outside of Tokyo, where yesterday we celebrated the grand opening of Manavi in Japan. And what a grand opening it was. Over 5,000 people packed into the convention center here in Yokohama. It was the largest Manavi event yet in our company's history. So congratulations to Shimizu-san, our country manager for Japan. I'm so pleased with him, so pleased with the staff that he's assembled. They have servants' hearts. They've been looking forward to this day, as have I, and as have the entire Manavi family for the last 2 years. You know, the two largest markets in the world are the United States and Japan. And I'm telling you that if yesterday was any indication of the success in the future for Manavi Japan, buckle your seatbelt and help become a part of what happened. If you don't know someone in Japan, then I'm confident that someone in your group knows someone in Japan. So the word of Manavi is going to be spreading like wildfire throughout Japan. And when I flew in here from Australia, one of the first things we did on Friday is we had the ribbon cutting at the beautiful office in Tokyo. Joining me on this trip for the ribbon cutting were co-founders Randy Larson and Henry Marsh. We had Varlin Law, our Vice President of International Sales. We had Doug Allen, Vice President of International Operations, Jeff Graham, our Vice President of Product Development, and many other members of the Manavi staff who came over from Utah. So we cut the ribbon on the office. We had a celebration there with hors d'oeuvres. So many of the Japan leaders were there, and I think that they were in awe at how beautiful this facility is. So the office is spectacular. The staff is so professional. So that was the ribbon cutting. Now later that night we had a special dinner for all golds and above in Japan. Those people who have been the pioneers over the last year or so building up to the grand opening. And we had a lion dance, we had dinner, we were entertained by a band, and mainly we just were able to unite one with another and shake hands. And on Saturday at the grand opening, of all the things that transpired at the grand opening, what I'll remember the most is that when we talked about the MORE project and invited those in attendance to participate, I was anxious and eager to find out whether the MORE project and the message of the MORE project would transcend country barriers, and that if the Japanese Manavi family would also feel compelled to give to this worthy cause. And one by one, people came to the stage, and it was another incredible moment. We raised over $25,000 yesterday at the grand opening of Manavi for the MORE project. But some of the highlights for me yesterday at the grand opening. First, the stage was spectacular. The videos were superb. The staff was professional. Everything was just first class. It was done the Manavi way. People from corporate participated, but I've got to tell you, the star of the show yesterday was my brother Randy, co-founder of Manavi. He was here in Japan 30 years ago as a 19-year-old, living here for a couple of years. So it had been 30 years since he'd returned to Japan, the country that he grew to love as a teenager. We recognized on the stage all the golds and the rubies, the emeralds, the diamonds, the blue diamonds, the Hawaiian blue diamonds, and our first black diamonds in Japan, Toyama-san and Akiyama-san. Our first Hawaiian blue diamond in Ozono-san. And so Japan is alive and well. We have now the foundation for a business that will grow very quickly in Japan. And then as we grow a business in Japan, then we'll have the foundation to continue to expand that business throughout the rest of Asia. I announced yesterday at the grand opening our first Asia Pacific conference. As part of the Manavi stimulus package for 2009, I have said that Manavi is going to take the message on the road rather than requiring people to jump on airplanes and fly to Utah for our conference. We decided to take the meetings on the road, and so we don't have the exact date yet, but we're anticipating that in October of this year, we will hold our very first Asia Pacific conference in Sydney, Australia. That's the plan. And a few days before this Asia Pacific conference, we will have our Ruby Fly-In, where distributors from Japan and Australia and New Zealand and Singapore will converge into Sydney for a Ruby Fly-In. Members of the corporate team will come to Australia to support that Ruby Fly-In. And then directly after the Ruby Fly-In, we will go into the Asia Pacific Conference, where our distributors from throughout these countries will converge, and we will certainly have several thousand people there. I'm so excited about Manavi in this part of the world, in Australia, New Zealand, and and Singapore, and now Japan, and later this year in Malaysia. And so distributors from these countries, and certainly some from the United States, will converge on our very first Asia Pacific conference. Excited about that. As we build for 2010 and the Monavie Gala celebration, celebrating our 5th anniversary in Salt Lake City in the summer of 2010. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge some of the leaders from the United States who made their way to Japan for this opening, as well as Australia. We had Black Diamond Megan Woltenden, who came and participated from Australia in the Japan opening, along with Ken and Carol Porter, Daryl Utterback, Scott Olson, and Brigham Lita Hart, all there participating and sharing of their wisdom and what it took to build a business in the United States of discipline and hard work and persistence and setting goals and getting on auto ship and having tasting parties and plugging into a proven system. They shared those pieces of wisdom with the Japanese distributors because we're all part of the Monavie family, and I'm grateful for them for doing so. Mostly grateful for the staff and grateful for those distributors who came out yesterday and came out for the ribbon cutting of the office and came out yesterday 5,000 strong, putting a very strong statement out there that Monavie is here, we have arrived, and we are going to build a company that we can all be proud of in Japan. So from Tokyo, or Yokohama, as I prepare to leave Tokyo today, back to the States, mission accomplished in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, onward and upward as we build towards a $20 billion company, blessing the lives of people one person at a time through Monavie. Everyone have the rest of a great day and a great week, and I'll look forward to seeing you at an upcoming Monavie function in the near future.